You know, it's funny. Growing up, I always wanted to love people, but my evangelical upbringing taught me that God didn't want us to love those people. I remember our household having an unusual hatred for John Lennon. And I used to watch him and think, he looks pretty happy, and we seem kind of angry. And he seems like he loves people, and we don't. But I knew that someday I would be in heaven mocking John Lennon for being in the hellfire of eternal damnation. And then my crappy life as an evangelical would be worth it. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? We don't come out of the womb with an us versus them divisive attitude. Hate must be taught. It's not inherent in human beings. And has there been any other organization in the history of the world that has been as effective for so long at teaching divisiveness as the Christian church? Which is odd because it couldn't be clearer in Christian teaching that the teacher that leads us taught love your neighbor as yourself, then told the parable of the Good Samaritan and said your neighbor is that person you don't think worthy of God's love. When I was growing up, nobody ever told me John Lennon was in fact my neighbor, which is awesome if you think about it because his music is out of this world. And that Muslim family down the street were my neighbors, and that one black family in our white Midwestern town were my neighbors, and even those Methodists that lived around the block were our neighbors. Part of rethinking our faith is rethinking the mindsets that we were taught that caused us to believe and interact with people the way we were taught to believe and interact with people. And sometimes I just wonder today, Christians, do you ever stop and listen to yourself? Do you ever look in the mirror and see what it means to tell people who were abused they should be thrilled that they were abused? The traumatized to say, thank you, God, for my trauma, because it's for my own good so I can help others that God has allowed to walk through trauma for their own good. Because I no longer believe in eternal damnation and I no longer look at sin as being violation of laws, but violation of human relationships instead, I get to love people and I get to enjoy life. And I'm free of that bondage of hatred and division given to me by my evangelical upbringing. And I want others to be free of that too.